Hey, Kliq This fans, want to get closer to the show than ever? Join Kliq This TV. Kliq This TV offers early commercial-free access to wrestling's hottest podcast, plus live audience tapings of their show every friggin' week. Head to kliqthistv.com now and get inside the show that's just too sweet.
The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussions.
You know, we didn't have time to do a new graphic for the Open, Kev. I thought maybe for the debate there should be a bit of a new animation, maybe with me and you.
I was thinking some kind of a freeze frame.
I'll just lie, and then you can grab a. You have a pen there, at least.
I got that. I got my.
Go ahead.
My pen.
It's not Bob Dole, but it.
And I won't.
Now cough into the pen.
But no, but. At any time, I saw the rules for the debate like 33 times on a graphic, and at no point did I see where you could not have fucking H2O anywhere around you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Neither of them took a sip of water, huh?
No,
I guess during the breaks they were only allowed to
drink sand, I guess. I don't know what.
Yeah,
was.
Worked
but
a lot better for
that
Trump than it did.
You can't even parody Biden on Saturday Night Live because there's nothing to parody.
You can't do anything.
So I immediately got done watching my feed of the debate, and I went directly to fucking MSNBC. I wanted to see how they were going to spin it.
Right.
And Wallace said that basically, no matter what you say, if you saw it and heard it, it's unspinnable. That's what she said. I go directly to Fox. Mm-hmm. Hannity says he was incoherent. He had 2 brain farts. I mean,
no, he's not wrong.
No. The only thing is, though, that fact-checked wise, I don't think Trump said like one thing that was true.
Nothing. No.
You know, it's just like but you know what? Like my wife said to me, she goes, well, he doesn't say anything that was true. I said, yeah, but it's like, that's why they keep the restaurants so dark. They can put 7 pubic hairs on your steak. You never catch it. Like, when Biden's that bad, it doesn't matter.
Exactly, because you have the free. It's like leaving the goalie out of the net, right?
Absolutely.
It's just.
God, you're skilled.
Yeah, exactly. You could do anything on the other side, and he did. As the night went on, you could tell Trump's bravado. We're doing this, by the way, on the night right after the debate, so this is fresh in our minds.
This is less than an hour after they.
Could you call it a debate even, really?
That's debatable.
Two guys kind of standing there.
How about, you know what really the saddest point of the night was? When Biden said that he was a 6-8 handicap, and he said he would take on Trump in a golf match if Trump would carry his own clubs. I'm like, dude, you can't even fucking, like, you can't get out of your own shadow. Like
that degenerated into total stupidity when the golf section happened. It
was so bad.
Completely idiotic. But what a waste of a night. Do you think Putin just sat there and went like, free run for 4 years now?
No.
Like looked at that shit?
I don't think so.
You don't think we that was a total embarrassment for us?
For the U.S.?
For the U.S., I mean. Yeah.
No. Fucking people really think he's in control?
Who?
Biden.
No, but that's what I said. Putin. Do you think Putin
Do you think
watched that?
Putin thinks that Biden's got his hand on the nuclear
What?
football?
Well, I mean, he sees that tonight was basically an invitation for Trump into the White House as much as confirmation. Never before, by the way. Oh, you know what? Did you see today? There was a story I was going to send. I don't know if did I send it to you that McCarthy had flip-flopped again on Biden. You know, he was one of the biggest, like, you know, unfit for office when he was speaker. And then apparently he was on one of the Fox shows today and said, "You're going to be surprised." He's like, don't count Biden out. You're going to see a very, and I read this and I was like, holy shit. And it was carried by one of the others. Like, it might have even been MSNBC.com or something. It popped up on one of my aggregators. So for a minute I was like, wow, yeah, could we be wrong? And then,
But my whole thing is this: it doesn't change the fact that the Dow is still at 39 and change. That unemployment is record. I mean, it doesn't change any of those facts.
absolutely.
You know,
And
so
we
it's
report
like,
it every week.
right. So, did you happen to see the CNN special on Mexico?
No.
Oh my God. So, and this was all news to me, and people will say, "Well, it's CNN." Well, I don't know, man. I watch all three of the news stations. There's only one of them that's been had to pay a suit for their lies, and it was like $890 million.
Say almost
It
a
wasn't.
billion, right?
It wasn't MSNBC or CNN. So I'll just go on that as far as credibility. But 90% of the fentanyl that comes into the United States comes in of course, through Mexico. 90% of the cartel's weapons comes from the United States. So,
How do they get them?
same way. I mean, you know, that it's not like that's the you couldn't hand rifles through those fence holes. People walk through them, you know, like everything else. If you got special dogs sniffing for fentanyl, I bet you they don't smell AK-47. Have you ever? When was the last time you drove from San Diego into TJ?
Never.
It's like driving. It's like driving over the bridge to mainland here. They don't stop you. Nothing.
There's not a checkpoint?
Nothing. Oh yeah. Nothing there though.
Oh.
I mean,
Be
it's
an
20,
interesting-
it's 2 seconds.
It'd be an interesting study with the guns you were mentioning because, you know, everyone, it was news to everyone when they heard that the Taliban's arsenal was basically provided by us when Russia was the threat over there, you know, and
All right. Well, that was the biggest thing.
Afghanistan.
They were getting killed by those those big armored helicopters, and we gave them the Stingers, which could knock those things down.
Yeah. Just trace the U.S. weapons around the globe over the last century. It'd be interesting.
Oh, it's
People would be interested to see where they ended up.
But that's the whole thing though. Is we you know, get the F-22, the F-35, whatever, you know, and then we sell the F-16s to Saudi, and then they buy those, and then they buy the parts, and they buy the maintenance, and they buy the, you know, this political, like, and I think it was Frank Zappa that said it, this political, you know, satire bullshit that we watch, that's the entertainment wing of the
military.
Of the military. Right. Yeah, that's just something, you know. Go to Huntsville and drive around there, and you're just like, man, they just shoot missiles off whenever the fuck they want. It's just,
So, Kev, at a certain point during the debate, we began on text to consider some alternatives.
Personally, it's like, okay, I wish Newsom hadn't
The debate.
debated DeSantis, but
So useless.
I don't think
For him.
DeSantis is in the running anymore. So you gotta. If this was a baseball pitcher and he didn't get out of the first inning and we're down fucking 9 runs,
Pull the pitch.
you gotta pull the pitcher.
But here's the thing, though. Wouldn't you have to have primary runoffs? Like, but what are you going to put Biden in a primary now?
No,
Wouldn't have to do that. You could
no.
just so at the Democratic convention.
If he steps down,
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
if he steps down, which I'm sure he will. All you got to do is if you play this back, he'll be like, "Oh my God, that's me," or "Who is that guy?" But
Why does he keep coughing into his pen?
yeah, who's that old guy coughing in the pen? That's you, Joe. Oh, I don't even play golf. Yeah, that was.
So if he
That's
could
what-
be convinced to step aside, yes, then
Yeah, then I think you could. But man, you're talking about a.
God, then you'd have to galvanize all the delegates to pick one. Oh, you'd have to have a very clear cut. I mean, would it be Kamala by default?
Can't
they
be
feel-
Kamala because she's from the same state.
This can be impossible. It's gonna be these two fuckers, man.
Well, I guess he's got to let him have another shot at it. I mean,
Now, what am I looking at here? Okay, so here I guess top 5 candidates here according to the internets. Kamala Harris, Gretchen Whitmer of your
I'll go
former
Gretchen.
fair
They
state.
wanted her so bad. They wanted to kill her in Michigan. Had kidnap and kill her. So.
Yeah, they were storming the steps.
Yeah, Governor
Sherrod
Newsom.
Brown, Gina Raimondo, Gavin Newsom, okay. Klobuchar, she's been off the radar too long. Cory Booker has not done anything near
No.
campaigning.
No,
The only one on that list, Gavin Newsom, scroll up again there.
I would say Gretchen.
Gretchen's
Whitmer.
been pretty public.
Yeah.
And then obviously Kamala Harris. I don't know, man. I hope that it's going to be interesting to read the news tomorrow. Let's just put it that way. Hopefully, I hope it is. No one can listen. No one can sit there after tonight and say, "Let's stay the course." Right?
I
The
would hope
ship
not.
is steady.
I would hope not because you've still got 33 to 39% of this country that believes that the last presidency was stolen. After 34 court cases said that it wasn't.
And I'm not talking about policy. Like you said, the economy's great.
I'm not talking about policy.
I'm not
just
talking about policy. I'm just talking about get someone who can get the votes.
After that, man, it's just like right now, I would be amazed if 5% that there's not a 5 to 7% spike in Kennedy tomorrow.
God. And that would be a disaster.
I mean, it's just
Because this introduces another Ross Perot situation. Third-party candidate, nowhere near able to win an election, but enough to do damage.
Biden actually having a worse debate than Stockton did when he was running as vice president with Perot. That may have been the worst debate I saw up until tonight.
Now, there is going back to some, okay.
Remember
I
that?
would have to rewatch the Stockton Ross Perot
It was
debate.
so bad. It was so bad. The Stockton debate was so bad that Dennis Miller had a piece about it. He said that the reason that he was like chastised forever was because he fucking had a bad debate. And he says, God forbid, they had him over there and beat the fuck out of him for 5 years in Vietnam as a prisoner, which But yeah, Stockton that was painful.
Yeah.
God, I'm getting old. I remember sitting fucking watching like Johnson on TV saying he wasn't going to run.
I was going to say, do you remember the first presidential debate you watched? Probably as a kid, right? Your dad probably had it on TV.
I remember Hubert Humphrey. I remember Humphrey. I remember him running because he was pleased as punch. But we were a Kennedy family. But he was out of the game quick.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't. I think I was right before I turned 4.
I remember the Mondale Reagan. I think that was the first one.
It was the 80, yeah.
That I could kind of follow. Was that 80 or 84?
80, I think. He beat Mondale first, didn't he? Or did he beat him second?
No, Carter.
Carter.
It would have been an 80, and then,
so
it had to be 84.
Mondale was
right?
84.
Okay.
Yeah. That was when he says it's unfair that he's Mondale was so inexperienced.
Right. And that was the You're No Jack Kennedy. Was that one?
That was who? No, that was the one that was cheating on his wife with his cancer-ridden wife. Was that Anders? What was that guy's name? Steve, help us out. What was that guy's name?
What year? Would that have been 88 then? You're No
Quayle.
Dan Quayle. That's right. Lloyd Benson. That's who it was. Lloyd Benson. No spring chicken at the time either, Lloyd Benson. I remember Lloyd rolling out there. Yeah, that was the 88. Lloyd Benson and Dan Quayle. Going down memory lane because nothing to really talk about tonight.
Yeah, so at least we still got some memories.
Yeah.
You know what the thing that killed me was I was talking to my buddy Dave out in California. Dave moves between California and Vegas, so I can never really keep track where he's at. But it was like your home runs were abortion. Like he just, and then as moderators, they just let Trump not answer questions. And
well, they would repose the question.
And then he would say, and I'll get to that, but let me go ahead and bury him some more on this. The most effective one was after that I think it was the second volley, and Trump said, and then whatever the fuck he said at the end.
Because I don't know what he said, and I don't think he knows what he said.
Yeah, I'm just.
And he wasn't wrong.
No.
But you see,
anybody that's is a Democratic, is a Democrat and can sit and fucking watch that tonight and in any form or fashion try to pick something good out of that.
No, there was nothing.
You have no credibility to me whatsoever.
There was nothing on Biden's part, and all it did was allow the platform for the only thing Trump does well is find a nugget, not even of truth, and continue to, like, the answer to everything was the border. And the whatever numbers, it got up to 28 million at one point.
Okay, so going back to that thing I watched on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and people don't know that Mexico is not a democratic society. It's an autocracy. It has been. Oh, it has been.
Yeah.
You know, so the guy that ran now they've got the female in, but she's just a shill. She's in the same the guy that was basically the dictator down there. She's a shill for him, and but when he was when Trump was in office, Trump basically said, "You won't import anything into our country if you don't do what you're told." And the guy tried to play hardball with Trump, and Trump didn't budge. And basically, it would have, I don't know if it could make Mexico a fourth world country, but in the meantime, this guy had put together this like super elite fighting force, like these narcos and this like a SEAL team people. They use those people to patrol the border Mexico side. So instead of like them coming through and us having to deal with them, the Mexican military, and they showed footage that I'd never seen before of these guys with shields and batons just fucking wailing on people at the borders,
keeping them in
Mexico. So, I just can't see CNN's reasoning for showing that footage because it wasn't, it was very pro-Trump. It was, if they're not being journalists and they're just, trying to press an agenda, the agenda was that Trump, then after that we had the COVID, and then that we were able to shut it down permanently. But then as soon as Biden got in office, it was just like, okay, we're back to fucking annual passes to Disneyland. And he just opened it, man, it just opened it wide up again. And it's just, I understand, like, immigration's like, it's essential, and you have to have some checks and balances. But like, if like Trump is talking about deporting everyone, and people that are married, that are just here illegally, and there's trillions of dollars in commerce that the illegals do, that like, who's gonna pick who's gonna clean, who's gonna go in at 14 years old after hours and clean the slaughterhouses with pressure washers. I mean, all that's, that there's a whole system in place. It's as horrible as it is, it's just like, and all you have to, but nobody, like, neither of these two guys tonight seem like they're on, like one's playing Uno and the other one's playing Crazy Eights, and you're going, you want me to hit you? And they go, what? I'm playing 5-card stud over here. Like, what the fuck, man?
There was no specificity on and nothing was explained to the voter how it was going to be handled in specifics. It was broad, vague attacks by one side, and then Biden totally on the defensive all night, just on the ropes, and throwing out, like, his occasional jab would be, the 3-point plan to end the war in Ukraine, or Gaza rather. First step's going to be, negotiate.
Yeah, everything was 1, 2, 3 with him. 1, we're going to do this. 2, 3, I'm going to freeze.
They were, again, there was nothing in detail. Nothing. Nobody learned anything except one's probably much more incontinent than the other. And my favorite line, though, I didn't get to say this earlier, was did come from Biden. It was when the porn star stuff came up. He said, "You talking about morality? You got the morals of an alley cat." I was going to open by telling you, Kevin, I think you have the morals of an alley cat.
I think that
And malarkey was used tonight, too. It's always good when malarkey can get
malarkey and an alley cat
introduced into a contemporary argument.
I think we should take Braun Breaker's name and make him the alley cat.
Okay.
Because they're not going to make him a Steiner, so you might as well make him an alley cat.
Very good.
That was my segue into let's get the fuck out of the Biden thing.
Let's get out of Biden. Yeah, I think we've squeezed about all we can.
Yeah, I mean, it's about as bad as it gets.
And LeBar was listening last week or watching, and he said the Road Warriors definitely pounded out rats with the face paint on, maybe even the shoulder spikes. We're talking about how Kiss used to have to leave the makeup on if any of the workers did the same thing. Maybe a little Kamala action with the belly painted still.
Fucky.
Yeah, a little funky here. You remember that, huh?
Yeah,
I actually.
Gene.
What's this shit with you not doing promos in St. Louis? He was sitting on your ass in Muskogee or wherever the fuck.
I doing a little fucky thing. Oh!
He pulls over Kim Chi first. He goes, Kim Chi, come here. You're kayfabe. Fucking Gene. Greatest ever.
Gene was classic, man.
SJ Last Beer C says WCW 98-99. Boring. Bischoff and Hogan crap ran off the fans to WWF before Russo even left WWF. The WCW audience never came back after early 99. Can't blame Russo. He was just an easy scapegoat. I'll take that.
After watching part 4 of that, I mean, it just... This is how I sum it. Okay, number one, because nobody... Okay. I booked myself to beat Bill Goldberg. It was my idea to do the finger poke of doom to get the belt back on Hogan. I kicked Brett in the head. I ended up selling the company because nobody wants to take any blame for anything, so I'll take blame for everything. When it comes down to fucking, actually, man, it looks like Truman Capote in the heat of the night, baby. I mean, Truman Capote.
Brad?
Yeah, looks like Siegel was pretty instrumental, and he might not have known what was going on, but he knew who to get a hold of in Titan Tower. Looks like there was a little fucky going on.
I have to watch the episode before I comment. So I'll just
okay.
Hold my
And
pen.
then the thing is too is that if you watch the whole the whole thing, and I watched the whole thing. It starts off, and the fact that if you just take all this shit out and just go from fact to fact. Fact one is Turner has been convinced by the other tower, well, at that point his tower, has been his executive have convinced him that if this thing doesn't show profit, it's got to be it's gone. So Eric puts his name in the hat. He's chosen. He takes over, much to the chagrin of the people that want to kill WCW. It starts to do numbers. So it does 200 million is one of the numbers they threw out during this thing. So now they're all got to sit there and just like, oh fuck. Like, and then as soon as it started,
you're talking about the executives that didn't want wrestling on TV.
They didn't, yeah,
at all, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, so the minute it started to take a dive, so then you go to Eric's meeting, which he told me I was like, when he came out of that meeting, I saw him in his office, and that's when he said, like, he was just like, you're not going to believe this. He said, they're cutting our budget, and they're going to put a standard and practice guy in the booking room. And I was just like, fuck. As I said, do you want me to help? So that's kind of when I he just kind of gave me a rundown on what was going on and what went on, and he said to me, like, I didn't know half the fucking people, if anybody, in that meeting. So he thinks things are great. He comes back and they've cut his budget in half. So it's like they were going to kill this thing one way or another. And if you look at like the third episode, you can't tell who Siegel's playing. He's bringing back Eric. He's got Russo. He's got this guy. It's like musical chairs on who's in charge. I mean, everything you could do to disrupt a company, they do. And then with some of the guys, when they said, man, like, we weren't a team anymore. When the fuck did anybody was in a pro wrestling locker room and they felt like it was a team? It was always
you tell me
cliques.
You've been in a few locker rooms.
It's always been cliques. You work together because guess what? That's what you have to do. But you're not. It's
not in the major leagues, right? I mean, when you've got the Hogan level, the Nash level, you're in a different, maybe ECW, something like that. That was an alternative to the majors, never really the mainstream, too small to really be considered a competitor. They were a shot in the arm, like punk music type thing to mainstream music, but maybe the guys in the locker room could say, it's us against the big guys, but not when you have a Barry Bonds on the team, right?
Well, I just think that when you have guaranteed money, and that money's is signed by Turner,
right?
I mean, that's a different ball game.
Was it at least a harmonious locker room? Talking about WCW now.
There weren't fist fights. And I'll just say for myself and for Scott, when we walked in that locker room, we sure as fuck weren't welcome. Not at all.
Did it change? When did it change? Did it change?
Well, once the building started to become full, and they realized that me and Scott were making every house show, then the mid card guys were like, oh, okay, well these guys they're pulling the wagon. I mean, they're not like Hulk didn't make house shows. So we were on every house show. That's when I asked Booker. I said, man, you want to be in the NWO? He says, fuck no, man. You guys work too much. So.
Now, WWE, rather, before you went over, the discontent in WWE at that time, I think, was because of the financial troubles, right, that the company was having, which was, of course, being passed down to you guys.
There were so many times that people walked into Vince's locker room at TV and said either they go or I go. You need to break up the Kliq and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's notorious. I mean, the stories are well documented.
Yeah, so that was a team.
No.
I mean, but that's the whole thing. When these guys talk about the demise of something, it's just like, I did it. Number one, I did that video series. I did it stoned, and I did it in character. The only time I wasn't in character was the time anytime I looked at one of those screens, because that was a rebuttal of something else.
Right.
And but everything else was like I just wanted, like I looked at on our thing this week, like people like, you fucking suck, Nash, and like all you cared about, you didn't care about people losing their jobs. All you cared about was you getting your pay.
We added more jobs than ever. Added
And
more jobs. Oh, sorry.
But I look at it and I say, before Scott and I got there, like it wasn't. They were doing the what Dungeon of Doom
Yeah.
deal.
Oh, it was horrendous.
Yeah. So before we got there, so if you create the Frankenstein monster, if you're Dr. Frankenstein, don't you have the right to kill it? Eric's the one that created that.
Kevin created what? What did you mean? Eric created?
Eric created fucking the NWO. It was his angle. He brought us in. He talked Hulk into being a part of it.
I wanted to ask you something about something you said a minute ago about like in WWE, trying to break up the Kliq and all that. The myth of the Kliq, right? This is endless here. It's it's right above us on the screen here still. You guys, the guys you accepted, PJ, Spicoli, I'm sure there's others. Kurt, right? Kurt for a while? Or was he already gone?
No, Kurt was, he was,
right.
Kurt, Jeff Jarrett was one of our, was always welcome to travel with us.
Right. So not guys that you hear as being the power Kliq, but guys that could be in your circle that didn't have problems with you, you didn't have problems with them, that if we're using the word teamwork, you could say were part of your team.
I traveled like a few times, like me and Brian Adams traveled together. When he was just Crush. We traveled together, Mach,
Why would somebody not be a part of the team? Because though the five of you are associated with that, it could have extended larger. Why couldn't everybody be on Team Kliq?
Well, they can't because there was only room for five in the van.
Well, did it have to just be riding together? Couldn't it just be kind of a similar sensibility about the business?
But I think that's what you did when you went up and down the road is you booked, and it's like,
right.
How are you, like you're booking shit for the guys in the car.
That was the clubhouse. That was the gang's clubhouse. And only 5 could fit. I'm just coming from the standpoint
nowadays it would just be one because we'd all have our own bus.
Right.
No, we wouldn't. We would have had a tour bus. We
could do a group text. That would have been dope.
We would have had bunks and yeah.
I'm just coming from the standpoint of, did there have to be that much division in the WWE locker room and the vilification of the Kliq? Often talked about as a negative. This is no surprise to you. Often talked about as a negative when, depends on which worker you're talking to, I guess.
Right.
But did it have to be that way?
Well, it was because Vince made it a Shark Tank.
Right. Someone's got to be the bad guy.
Well, yeah, and somebody's. He loved it. He loved that guys were, up at each other's throats.
Now, when you go to, of course, you leave Sean behind, Hunter, and you go to WCW.
And Kid got left behind.
Kid left, but he came shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
And you guys knew he would come when he was able to get out of that contract. But so did your mentality, you and Scott, did your mentalities change when you moved over? Like, we're not going to have the team.
No, we looked at it as divide and conquer. We knew that fucking Sean had the world title. We just figured we called it Kliq South and Kliq North. That's the truth.
That's the first time I heard that. That's great.
Yeah, that's just the way it was. Because we looked at, fucking, we were used to working 300 days a year like it was nothing, and these guys fucking, as soon as that territory popped and people started having to work, those fucking country club boys they didn't know what fucking to do.
It was like the Warriors splitting up into two factions, two gangs.
And the guys that hadn't been to New York before, Lex didn't have a problem with it. Steiners didn't have a problem with it. They had all fucking been on that grind.
So that's interesting there. So work ethic now begins to come into play when you guys go down there.
It's not even ethic in the work ethic in the gym. It's workload.
The ability to handle the workload. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, it's the difference between, running basically the old Continental, you were lucky if you worked 120 days, like the first time I was there. I think like 120, 150 days would be a lot.
Mm. Right. Interesting concept. Teamwork in the locker room. Where did it exist? Did it ever exist?
Nowhere.
Right. Very good. Jim Kahn recalls last week's show and wrote in script format, Sean, so what will Shane bring to AEW? Kevin, ... Exactly. His commentary. Milk carton.
No, and the thing is, like, people take that as it's like saying, "Hey, man, I heard Chuck Yeager's gonna fucking pilot the Hindenburg." Great.
Doesn't matter how good an airman he might be.
That motherfucker, no matter what, you're going to hear somebody screaming all the humanity.
Shame we got to lose Chuck. Yeah.
Broke the sound barrier. Oops.
Milk carton. Somebody probably said this already, but the other Bananarama hit in America is Venus, and Obsession was by Animotion. I'll never forget the latter because it's the first music video I remember seeing. That's true. I did attribute both, I believe, to Bananarama in the mention of Cool Summer.
That will probably cost you the presidency.
Well, I was going to say, give me the pen. Yeah. Shook 9843. Keep the 4-ball segment. It's funny watching Nash shit on it. It's gone. Sorry, Shook. You have to go back and watch episodes 102 and 103. That'll be a trivia question someday when we're on episode 567. Which two episodes dragged out at a segment called The 4 Balls? Thunderballs says, met Nash this weekend. Super cool dude. His presence just commands the room. Remember signing anything for someone named Thunderballs? By any chance?
I didn't sign anything for Thunderballs, but I met a lot of people.
Where were you?
I was in Jackson, Mississippi. Interesting.
Any fond memories of Jackson, Mississippi? When you get a booking, when someone wants you to do a signing now, do you go back to like when you had a
I know exactly the Coliseum in Jackson. I know the building. What's kind of cool is when you go back and you go because usually the con's not in the actual Coliseum. It's
right.
in like one of the runoff buildings. And but I went and walked over and walked into the old Coliseum, which it's been revamped. I think the last time I was in there was probably 20-something years ago. But some of that old architecture, man, of those buildings, like there's the arena in Shreveport, the arena in Little Rock, the arena the old arena that's still used in San Antonio for the rodeo. Those 3 buildings, and I think there's one more, are the identical, like 9,900 seat. If you walked into one, you walk into all of them. It's just like, it's crazy that, you know, like I'm almost positive the same architect built those. So, but that was.
You ever been to a rodeo?
Have you?
No. 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 Never had the opportunity, I don't even think. I don't know if I'd enjoy it, really. After 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I think that's our lack of appreciation of the whole bunkhouse routine.
Absolutely correct. I did go to a monster truck show, though, once when I was.
One of the questions today
young.
was they named the city, and it was like name the city of what female museum, and it was the Cowgirl Museum, but I forget what the city was. But that was one of the Jeopardy questions today.
I'm going to say Austin.
I don't know.
Would be my guess. I just am, yeah, those rodeo. But some of the wrestling venues were old rodeos. Like I think the Sportatorium in Dallas, right? Wasn't that an old rodeo?
We did. I want to think it was Starkville, Mississippi, and I remember like they had like plywood in the back. You dressed on pallets, wooden pallets, because there was dirt.
Oh.
So you dressed on wooden pallets, and in the back there was a fucking hose, and it was duct taped to a fucking 2x4 that had
the shower. That was the shower.
V cut in it. There was a fucking hose duct taped, and it was a fucking freezing cold, and that's what. Or they had a bag. They had a table full of rubbing alcohol and like 25, 30 rolls of paper towels, and you would just pour the rubbing alcohol on you and dry yourself with the towels and put your clothes back on after sweating in a 90-degree arena, and so you could drive to the next town.
Oh, the smell must have been ungodly in there.
Yeah.
Between the talent and the rodeo.
Ugh.
You know what? Back then, you know, I bet you wish you had in your bag. MANDO, whole body deodorant. Listen, it's summertime. This is going to be your best friend this summer, as it would have been Kevin's at the Starkville fucking rodeo. Let me tell you what MANDO is if you don't know what MANDO is. It is clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. It's safe for the whole body. Pits, package, feet, everywhere in between, baby. And the whole point is to stop odor before it starts. Now, this is not just a cover-up for odor. This gets to the root, okay? And it's available in 4 cologne quality scents: Bourbon Leather, Mount Fuji, Pro Sport, Clover Woods. I actually upstairs still have the Pro Sport. That's a bluish bottle. And I still have that. That's the cream. It's in cream form, stick form. And I personally, with MANDO, the thing I love most about it is it's subtle. It's not an overpowering cologne smell or deodorant that's supposed to just cover something up. It attacks where odor can show up, and it's preventative. All right? I'm talking package, the grundle, the balls, the whole deal. Belly button, your butt crack, crevices, folds, anywhere that sweat can gather, okay? Because it is summer. It's aluminum-free. It's baking soda-free. It's cruelty-free, dye-free. It's vegan. Kevin swears by it. Kevin, they should credit you for giving the tip to put the sheets in the shoes.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I have a pair of Under Armour shoes right now. They have the sheets in them. I wore them in Jackson without socks for 2 days. I came home and my wife was like, "What is that?" I said, "I'll take care of it."
Give you pass the MANDO. Exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, it's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, the average man's grundle odor level's a 5 out of 10. MANDO, it's 0 out of 10. I want you to get the starter pack. We want you to get the starter pack. It's perfect for new customers. comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice. Could be like a mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, of which Kevin speaks. And you're getting free shipping too if you use the code Kliq, Kliq, and you're going to go to shopmando.com. We have that discount code to hook you up with our favorite smelling whole body deodorant on the market. New customers are going to get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code that equates to over 40% off your starter pack. Code is Kliq, Kliq, at shopmando.com. shopmando.com. Thank you, Mando. Thank you for advertising, but more importantly, thank you for the damn product.
Yeah, so I love it, man. We've been blessed to have people that want us to do that sponsor our show. That their products are just.
Oh, it makes it so much easier, doesn't it? When you can say that you use it, you love it, and you just.
Well, then my whole thing is, like, I have a different, like, the Mando's a really good deodorant. Like, I wear tank tops to go work out in. So but I don't have, because I manscape, I don't have any body hair. So I mean, but man, you put the stick, it's white, but it goes in, and then you can just take it. I just take my hand and rub it in, and I was in there. I was turning back on Monday, and it was hot in the gym. I mean, it was hot, like sickening hot. And I got in the car, and I just sat back, and I'm just waiting for the air to kick in before I drove, because I didn't want to have a heat stroke. And the vent caught the Mando and just kind of blew it. And I was just like, fuck yeah, man. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I fucked up. I didn't bring a towel to put over my seat, but I'm like, worst case scenario is going to smell like this, which is pleasant. So I'm fine.
Absolutely. And you'll be fine too if you join us here at KliqThisTV.com. Sign up, be part of our exclusive club here. Let's see. Oh, Sika passed away. I wanted to bring that up too. Roman's dad.
Alpha Sika.
79, I think, right?
I think he was.
79, yeah. That was...
he wasn't around much. Like like Alpha was always around.
Correct. Yes.
Sika wasn't around very often. I only got to meet him a few times.
Yeah, Alpha very present. Alpha. Did he own a school? I know he trained.
Yeah, and Allen. That was the Allentown crew.
Oh, right, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but Alpha was also, he was the head shrinkers manager.
Yes. That's
he was
right.
Sammy and Rikishi's manager.
Yeah. God, the legends, when the legends go, man. Even in music too, it's like it connects to your own mortality.
Oh God, I was talking to Mike today this week about that.
How is Mike?
Mike's good.
Canadian,
Mike's real good. What's that?
Canadian.
I love Mike.
And if Disco Inferno had his way, he would have booked him and all the Canadians as aliens in an angle. You book Disco. What was Disco in the damn room for? Was he on the committee? I guess he was on the committee, right? At one point, WCW?
Disco had good ideas.
The Evil Architect, Bill Ding, was my favorite. Didn't come to fruition. Invisible Man was another good one. Promo was just the lockers. He was out there, man.
He was. I hung out. That whole 16 months I sat around getting paid, I hung out. He was getting paid too.
We're forever referred to as the 16 months I sat on my ass and got paid.
Yeah.
Why was he? What was his deal that he was?
Shit, he was making $500,000.
And so why wasn't he working?
Because he didn't to take the buyout.
So same thing as you. He had to, right?
Yeah, he got to sit. He didn't. His check wasn't as much every 2 weeks, but
Was he in Phoenix too?
no, we were in Atlanta at that time.
Oh, okay.
I had that loft in
Maybe he's
Buckhead.
in Vegas. Is that what I'm thinking of?
He is now.
He is now, okay.
Glenn's in Vegas now. Yeah, we did. We had this every day. I would drive to Main Event from Buckhead, and we train. We go get to. We probably I think it was Caribou Coffee. Meet at Caribou Coffee, have a coffee, go to the gym, work out, then go catch lunch. Then I'd go back and shower. He'd shower. I'd drive over. Either we'd hang out at his place or my place, depending. And we'd eat sushi that night or Thai food or whatever. And then we'd watch TV and drink beer and eat somas. It was our ritual.
You drag any poker games?
No. He actually leased my loft, and he had the poker games in my loft with you ever heard that story?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
fuck. So I'd lease him my place, and he's got all the so I get a complaint from the homeowners association, and right across I'm on the 8th floor and I'm looking at Lenox, the Lenox skyline, but right below me is a church. And it's 6 o'clock in the morning. You'd have the games on Saturday night, and I mean it's Maddox and small, all the Braves are playing in these games, high dollars, and Glenn's got strippers as cocktail waitresses, and I mean they're running a full out casino in my place because there's a concierge, so there's a key swab to get into the building. There's one to get into the elevator. By that time, he's greasing the concierge. They're in on it. Yeah, he had a full-fledged game going on in my loft.
That's not the location where there perhaps might have been an arrest at one time?
No, he moved.
Okay.
No, they didn't give it without the protection of the Matheson lofts. He was
correct. He was subject to the
quicker
the man.
apprehension.
God damn it, Glenn! Do you have to be such the stereotype? Fucking vowel for a last name, so you got to get pinched for gambling.
Yeah.
Too Cold
I
Scorpio.
I always liked him.
I did too.
Yeah, he's a good
Love
fucker.
Him. He comes. We were doing the more of the stereotype. We're doing a guest booker edition, and I guess we were between whatever, waiting to shoot, after the shoot, something. And so we're sitting around the lobby of the hotel. I'm like, Glenn, what do you want to do? He's like, hey, you know what I really love, Renee? He's got a big Brooklyn pizza. It's like, you're in New York now, so you want a pizza? Yeah, had a giant Brooklyn pizza with Glenn. 2 Cold Scorpios in trouble, Kev.
Did you tell me that? I tell you that.
I did. We
Who
were
did
on
I
the phone,
tell?
and I had just gotten the word that
I
it
told.
happened.
I know who I told. I passed the word.
Was it an attorney by any chance?
No.
For Charles. Yeah, he was working as a security guard, I think, at a truck stop, and an unruly patron confronted him, and a fight broke out. Man was cut pretty badly, suffered cuts to the head, chest, buttocks, legs, and abdomen. And so he was arrested. We shall see. I guess apparently the fight broke out over a cigarette. I don't have the details if it was a...
Sometimes cigarettes will kill you.
Yeah, see, and here's the evidence. They should just...
He
Surgeon
was-
General's
he-
going to change the...
He was always such a. That sucks me. He's always a chill guy.
really chill guy.
Unless you
Tough.
fuck
You know,
with
he
him.
didn't take...
Yeah.
I was just going to say, he didn't take any
He
shit.
take no shit, man. But fucking, he was. There's no reason for him to be tough because he was just chill. He didn't fuck with nobody.
Yeah. Good worker, too. Could work almost any style. One of those rare guys that could do it all. So hopefully, if it was self-defense, as he claims, hopefully that works out for him.
I think it will. Hopefully it's covered well enough on camera.
Yeah, it's got to be right at a truck stop.
He had a, the shiv was illegal.
It was not a job-issued weapon.
Yeah.
And there apparently were two weapons that the job issues you that were legal that he could have used to subdue. But he went for the one that was. Come on, Scorp. All right, so it is time for the tap out, Kevin. Today's tap out is going to be brought to you during this Major League Baseball season by GameTime, another one of my favorite sponsors. I've used them personally for a concert morning of. Sat 19 rows away from Bruce Springsteen, for God's sakes, in New Jersey, and got those tickets the morning of the event. GameTime.co if you're browsing on the internet, and it's 1997. But just put that GameTime app on your phone and get ready to get your Major League Baseball tickets this year. Kev, what was the game? You were just recently at a Tigers game?
I was at a Tigers game.
Tigers game?
What?
Steve?
And for anybody that hasn't been to a baseball game since the pitch clock, it's unbelievable. You're in and out in 2 hours. It's the best experience. It's like whoever came up with the pitch clock, it's just fucking believable.
Much needed, because there was a whole lot of bullshit going on.
It'd be 4.5 hours, man.
Standing around mostly.
Yeah, nobody leaves early. It's just like two, and it's game's over.
Yeah, amazing. So if you're thinking about heading out to catch a game now that it's moving at the speed as other sports move, not a lot of standing around scratching your balls on camera. GameTime, by the way, is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, okay, which makes getting the tickets there faster and easier. Prices on the GameTime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch. They have things like last-minute deals, all-in prices. There's great little icons on the little map that comes up when you open your GameTime app. The map of the arena or stadium or theater, whatever you're looking to attend, has prices assigned to every seat where there's tickets available. You click it, you can see seat view right there on your phone or on your computer for the seat that you're looking to buy to ensure that you're getting the view you want before you click that. And there's a lot in place to help you other than those things, like the lowest price guarantee, or GameTime is going to credit your account 110% of the difference. And GameTime's ticket coverage, and that means your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. I use it. You should use it. Kevin's used it. Go get your goddamn tickets for your next event at GameTime, and we're going to help you, as we always do here. Kevin demands that our listeners, our viewers also, are taken care of, so you can take the guesswork out of buying your MLB tickets, because you're going to download the app, create an account, use the code KLIQ, and you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Okay, terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code KLIQ. Click for $20 off. Download GameTime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. And in 1985, July, I forget the date. It was mid-July. I'll say July 16th. There was an event called Live Aid, Kev. You might have remembered it. It was a day-long concert, both in Philadelphia and at Wembley Stadium in London. And Phil Collins, everyone talks about him having opened in Philly, and then he closed the same night at Wembley. And if you were there, you may also remember him playing drums for Led Zeppelin, whose set was not what you would want to hear if you were a fan of Zeppelin. I don't know if you remember this, Kev, but you're free to tap whenever you want. Here's Zepplin at Live Aid. I'd be excited to see Zepplin. I don't think anyone in that band was in a condition to perform that afternoon. Rock and roll.
Well, I'm going to tap because I don't want to watch the whole thing. But once you watch Axl sing nowadays and David Lee Roth,
By comparison?
yeah, that's such fucking gold, man.
That shit goes on for 20 minutes. My favorite was Jimmy Page being attacked by a microphone stand.
Yeah.
Very smoothly worked his way out of that.
I don't think anybody got paid for that gig, so
that is true.
You're doing
well,
it
the hungry folk did.
When you're doing, when you're doing it for free, man, you get what you get.
Dear Sexy, 2 letters, actual letters to Dear Abby, but what if Kevin Nash were the one to give the advice? You will find out right now what that would have sounded like. Dear Sexy, my grandsons are 16, 18, and 20 years old, and they all have girlfriends. Each also has his own bedroom. When I visit my son's house a few times each week, the boys are always in their bedrooms with their girlfriends, with their doors closed, supposedly listening to music or watching a movie on television. My son and daughter-in-law are either in other rooms or outside in their pool and choose not to disturb them. Sexy, knowing teenagers have raging hormones, I don't think this is a very good policy, but I don't feel it's my place to say anything. My son and daughter-in-law's attitude is, get with it. This is the 90s, whatever that's supposed to mean. What do you make of this, Sexy? Old-fashioned grandpa. The ages were 16, 18, and 20.
I mean, God, I mean, you look at today's, God. Obviously, they're not in Arkansas, right?
No, that would have been the children in the same family. I think they have girlfriends they've imported.
They've all been married. I don't know. I think it's up to you as a parent to teach your kids to be responsible.
Should the grandfather say something? Is it his place?
If he wants to fucking get shot down. Nowadays, he says, fuck you, Grandpa.
It's the 90s after all.
I mean,
One is 20. One is 20 fucking years old. First of all, he's living at home. Fine, whatever. He's in college, right? You should be able to close the door when you're 20, right? Or maybe he wants him to leave the door open and see him hitting a dog.
Well, I look at the whole thing. I say, man, even it's 16. You're going into your junior year of high school.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man. I think Grandpa just fucking. I think Grandpa needs to fucking maybe just sit over there like this.
Dear Sexy, what is the proper way to handle a problem with a 4-year-old boy whose parents pay no mind to what he's doing or whom he is annoying? The child is always outdoors, early in the morning and also in the evening, unsupervised. He constantly stops everyone he sees and asks 100 questions. He's a nice little boy. And while I feel for him, I wonder how these parents could allow him to roam with no supervision, expecting the neighborhood to entertain and care for him. I have a 6-year-old son, and I would never allow him in the front yard unless I'm there to watch him. I would never permit him to bother the neighbors. However, when I go out with my son, I always have to deal with the endless questions from the neighbor boy. It's not fair that when I to have time to take my son outside, I have to babysit this neighbor child. I've asked him where his mother is and have sent him home many times, but he comes back again and again. It's not his fault. I hate to be mean to him. I blame his parents. Sexy, what am I to do? That's from Unwilling Babysitter in New York.
Called deep facts.
Get a Rottweiler, maybe?
No, I'd call the local, I mean.
Child services?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the biggest problem she has is almost not that he's in danger in the yard, is that he's fucking annoying with his questions.
If he has no supervision, man, it's like sooner or later somebody's going to snatch him.
You know, the grandfather should send him up to open the door on the 20-year-old.
The 4-year-old, yeah.
Ask some questions about what the hell's going on in there. What's a wand, Grandpa? Why does Wesley have the wand? You know what might help that wand? There's a little CREMO on the tip, Kev. Let me tell you. I was in the store the other day, and I did send you a photo of a new scent, one I do not own. CREMO, by the way, if you don't know what we're talking about.
I thought they sent you that.
No, it was in the store on the shelf. And let's see, I want to get the name of it correct. By the way, if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, CREMO is the men's body wash, the bourbon vanilla that we've been talking about on the air, that Kevin is slowly starting to get Tamara to come around to. Oh, Palo Santo was the one I ran into the other day right there, the Palo Santo. So that's available too. But CREMO body wash, amazing. Listen, guys, it's time to elevate and enhance your hygiene a little bit while in the shower, okay? We got you taken care of after the shower, but this CREMO combines the rich lathering and hydrating formula with a meticulously balanced and multi-layered fragrance for a superior shower experience. CREMO's newest men's body wash scent makes a regular shower feel like a luxury experience. Bourbon vanilla body wash, that's what I'm rocking right now. Invigorates the senses with bold distillers, spices. It's perfectly balanced. Rich notes of Madagascar vanilla and aged oak, by the way, to create a shower experience that meets even the highest standards. I shower with it daily since I got it in the mail last week. And I smelled great. And you know what? Last, Kev, you even talked about being stopped at the gym after showering one day.
Yeah, and I had some, I think it was like Dove or something like that, some body wash left over. And I said, well, because I used the CREMO, and I said, let me go ahead and I'll finish this off before I go back into it. The lather ability of the Dove body wash was like a third.
Compared to the CREMO.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I actually shit canned the Dove for the CREMO.
Yeah. That's tremendous.
It wasn't even close. I mean, it was like, because I use you know what a Japanese washcloth is?
What's her name?
No, it's like they sell them at the Oriental Market that I buy my sushi rice at.
Perfect place to get a Japanese.
Yeah.
Wait, is
it's a big, like a sheet, but it's made out of a special material. It's really, yeah.
Well, listen, CREMO has distinct
Google it,
sense.
Steve. Google Japanese.
Let me see a little bit of the Japanese bathing ritual over here.
I've got like, I go through them. I change them out every month. I think this one's the one. And that's the key is, man, like, you know, when you get out of the gym, you got to be able to, and it's like sandpapery. It's you know, it's got
so it's like an exfoliator too.
Yeah,
kind
so
of?
you can get your back, and man, with my shoulders, I need it.
All right. Well, listen, CREMO's distinct layered scents evolve as you wash with it. Making sure you get clean and you smell great at the same time. So whether you're going to do the Japanese bathing ritual or not,
use the CREMO, baby.
use the CREMO, baby. And you can find CREMO men's body wash and its new distinctive bourbon vanilla scent at Walmart or Walmart.com. Once again, that's Walmart or Walmart.com. You know, they discontinued the Japanese bathing ritual at the Dolphin Hotel in Disney at the Mandara Spa. I used to enjoy the Japanese bathing ritual before a massage. And since COVID, they have not added it. Hopefully, when I'm down there, I will be... Did the ladies make some plans, by the way? I don't know.
No, Tamara hasn't got back with her yet because Tamara's still got, like, dealing with that hip.
No, I know she's got the hip. And
so it's...
fucked up.
Plus, we don't go to asphalt places when it's 100.
No, that's only the schmuck me who goes. Let's see, it's really hot up here in Jersey. Let's go 1,000 miles south.
Let's go as close to Mercury as we can.
Right on.
God, it wasn't bad. It rained today a lot.
We've had storms here that, like, they're not, usually you get a little bit of prep before the storm.
We have the same thing going on.
Nothing on the news, yet I drove back from where my daughter's rehearsal was the other day. I was far enough south that I didn't get hit with this, but my little daughter calls me. She's like, Dad, I'm scared. It's so bad outside. Mommy said she hears something fell in the yard. I get back into town. I come over the Bayonne Bridge. Every block that I passed, that I looked down, had trees down. They had 2 major thoroughfares closed because trees had trees, plural. It was like a movie. And nothing on the news beforehand to warn about this.
We had one. We had one today, and Tamara went to her physical therapist for some tissue work, and she dodged it. She left, and then, man, it's crazy with dogs because as soon as my dog starts acting weird, I just look to the west, and I'm like, oh, okay, here it comes. Mm-hmm. And
that Gulf breeze bringing it in.
Yeah, but they've been coming from the west.
Yeah, that's
east.
West of you, right? Heading west.
Yeah, they're
from
coming
the
from
east.
The west. They're coming from the west, heading east. They're going to the ocean.
Right. But that would be a Gulf storm, right?
No, not
Gulf
necessarily.
Across the mainland.
That's 200 miles to the Gulf.
That's where all the trouble starts, in Mexico there with them. They're Mexicans. All right, we're back. Kevin Nash's podcast, Kliq This. And this is the high spot of the show, Kev, because it's brought to you by our friends Mickey, Ray, Sinatra, and Courtney and their Get Blitzed Lit Aid. That's right. It's nano-infused. It's Delta 9. It's THC. Sip and syrup. Kevin has often talked about the mixers that he's tried with with Kev's key lime. He's used it in his Sprite. I actually have I put some of the wild cherry in my Coke Zero the other day when I was out by the pool. And what am I talking about when I say Delta 9 sip and syrup, for God's sake? Well, it's a syrup, and you mix it in any beverage. And because it is Delta 9, it means it is the real deal. It's THC Delta 9. The THC you get from marijuana, well, that's what this is, okay? Fast onset. Little as a teaspoon is all you need, guys. And fast onset, 5 to 15 minutes. Nano-infused means it goes right into your bloodstream, bypassing the breakdown in the liver. So it works like alcohol. It's a tolerance killer. And it's great for just getting into that chill mode, and you don't need more than that teaspoon. If you're in Maryland, you can visit a Stay Lit smoke shop, but for the rest of us, it's legal to ship right from the Get Blitzed website to all 50 states without a med card, as long as you're over 21. And now you guys can save 15% by entering the code KLIQ. Kliq at checkout. Go to get-blitzed.com. That's get-blitzed.com. BLITZED.com to try the Delta 9 THC Sippin' Syrup Lit Aid from Get Blitzed, okay? And use that promo code KLIQ, K-L-I-Q. Save your 15%. Big stuff coming from them soon. There'll be some drinkables. And referee Christopher Daniel Cox says, loved the key lime.
Hell yeah.
That's Kev's key lime. Tried Get Blitzed thanks to Kev. There you go, baby.
Yes, ma'am.
And
I won't steer you wrong
oh, absolutely not.
when it comes to getting the buzz on.
Ask Nash. Hashtag Ask Nash is how you can be part of this. And Christopher could be the very same Christopher, as a matter of fact, as our first question this week. It says, what is your favorite thing to sign? We've met 5 times in 3 decades. 97 FSU game and 2006 and 2011 TNA. Again in Stockton in a few weeks. However, I've never been able to get your autograph. Now I'm looking to get something special to have signed. What's your favorite thing? You prefer the action figures?
I mean, the action figures are good because they've got a good sign area.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have 8x10s at the table.
Okay, could always do a picture. I'm sure you can get a
8x10s,
combo too.
I always, I do the. I try to keep I always like to use it with the white paint pens. They pop. So
cool. Nice. Gary King. Is Arquette winning the WCW belt any different than WWE bringing Zeus in? Zeus was Tiny Lister, right? The actor from No Holds Barred. So they brought the little angle off screen into life.
I mean, I think just from a physicality standpoint, I think that there's a difference there.
A little bit of believability that Tiny Lister might hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
With a gun, David Arquette might hurt you.
David Arquette had a gun and scream, and he wasn't.
And he still wasn't scary.
No.
Mark Caps, what are some of the loudest pops you've ever been a part of?
Let me think. I think one of the loudest ones when Sting turned Wolfpack. That was a loud pop. Like ones I remember. Wasn't like a
when
road.
Hulk
Wasn't
dropped
like
the leg. Was that a? I mean, that was a heel turn.
That was silence. That was almost like the finger poke of doom. It was that same thing. It was like
that effective shock.
Yeah, it's that they go quiet and then they react.
How about notice
how I put the finger poke of doom along with Hogan turning heel together.
I think they only mentioned one of those in Who Killed WCW. I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
One of those 2 incidents was mentioned.
Yeah.
Second. Here, hold on. All right. Live audience, what do we got here? Who do we have? Derek Fees, Big Kev. What do you think?
I love the fact that I can't believe that he went in the 17th pick. Knecht
to the Lakers.
Yeah, to the Lakers. But I don't know who. So I'm glad this came up because today was the second round and the Lakers got LeBron's son. So Bronny will be playing with his dad on the Lakers next year.
You talked about that happening a couple of weeks ago here, right?
And I looked at that and I said, man, you got LeBron as a free agent, and then the I think the agents for LeBron's son, I think his last name's Paul. And he said that if anybody else picks Bronny before the Lakers do that he's going to go play in Australia. So that kind of
cemented the deal.
Yeah, and then LeBron, if I'm not mistaken, does a podcast with Reddick, and Reddick got picked to be the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so this, if there was ever a time to do like a Hard Knocks for HBO for basketball, this would be it. This year with the Lakers, there should be some good drama.
Dom asked when on that last question, how was the pop when you beat Backlund at Madison Square Garden?
That was good. I was so caught up in just doing it as fast as I could without it looking like a complete work. Mm-hmm. Because I knew they were going for time. So.
Who would have been the agent with Pat at the time? Was it Jerry or Bruce?
It would have depended on the town.
No, for New York for that match. Do you remember? The reason I'm asking, I knew someone in college who was at that in the crowd, and he knew there was going to be a switch because Pat came out up into the stands with, I forget who, it might have been Jerry, I don't know who the other one, and they sat behind him. There were a couple of empty seats to watch the switch from the audience, to listen to the audience. And I can't remember who the other guy was.
I would think it would be Jerry, because when I got operated on, Jerry was there when I woke up.
Okay. Who else on the house? Who else has questions? Who else is awake?
Whew.
God's sakes.
I tell you that if you've ever, like, I felt today like I got kicked in the balls, but actually after I was in a steam room for like 2 hours where they were just, just hanging just as far as they could. And, I mean, just that watching that debate was such a, just like, because I said, my wife and I were talking about it. We said, what's the worst it could be? And we went back and forth kind of like, and like the first 3 minutes were,
I was going to ask you on the air. I was going to ask you off the air. When did you know this was? And it was right away, wasn't it?
When he walked out. When he walked out, he looked like a marionette.
Yeah, but I thought maybe at the podium, poised, focused,
he was like,
it would turn around, and it did not.
He never kicked out.
Never kicked out, right?
And when does the president go first?
It was a coin toss. It was a coin toss.
I thought it was who went left or right was the coin toss.
Yeah, that was back and to the right.
Well, I think
Kennedy would have done a better
job from Parkland than fucking Biden did.
What do we got in the house here? Who in the house? Mr. Epic, how in 2024 do people still give money and work for Mr. I'll pretend you said 18 Rob Feinstein? I don't know. Is he still doing shows? I thought Rob was doing like like those auctions for merchandise and stuff.
I think he does privates, doesn't he?
Yeah, like private signings. And I know Todd did like a live, like a Facebook stream of it was like a home shopping network when the book came out. Feinstein had him on, and they did like a live sale there, signs the books, and they get shipped.
I don't know enough about his situation to be able to, like, forever fucking.
I don't think he does any shoots. I don't know if anyone does shoots anymore. It's all podcasts now. Unless he's got a podcast. I don't know. I don't know. What else we got out there? Ace Ramon. I always wanted to talk to one of the Ramones.
Fuck yeah, I do fucking voiceovers, man. That's where the money's at right now.
Do you ever do voiceovers for cartoons?
I just got another possible offer for a series.
How does this seem? Does this seem like something that's going to work,
Yeah,
or
this
what?
this is probably of all the things, because most of them, like, I get a vibe, and this vibe is, this is in my wheelhouse. I think this is, I can't see me not, if they get the funding, and but man, it's just like we start shooting at the end of December, and we finish up like late April, early May. And it's option.
Where do you have to go?
L.A. And it's option for like 8 seasons or 7 seasons or something like that.
Okay.
So
who's the
it's
network? Can you say or no?
Hulu.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully it happens.
Hopefully, hopefully it happens, but at the same time, that would throw my life in a fucking whirlwind.
But you may not be needed the full time, right? If you're in.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, get a little place. They'll get you a little place out there, and.
Well, I got to have 2 bedrooms. And my pet. And,
you have to have the dog come out, Cooper, Tamara, the whole damn game.
No, that's what I mean. It's just Tamara don't want to go out there. So we'll see.
We'll see what happens. All right. Well, what's the name of that place I have to? Maybe I'll try your friend's Italian restaurant when I'm down there next week.
If you're here, I'll be here, knucklehead.
I don't make you leave the house.
It's like up the street for me.
Is it? You have to
fucking walk to it.
All right, we'll see. I wanted to try. You sent me a picture. I actually began to salivate one night at about 11 o'clock at night after the show.
So where are you going to be on Disney property?
No, I'm staying at the house.
Oh fuck! Why don't the 2 couples give Hyde Park another chance?
Oh, well, at least we'll get an episode of the show. Well, no, I honestly want to try that Italian place. It looked good.
Yeah, the last couple of times we went there, though, man, it's kind of.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no.
It's taking a dip.
Yeah, a little bit.
You gotta go grab Giuseppe by the collar there, and
it breaks my heart. I think they got Biden cooking.
Let him stir. He fucking stir that sauce like nobody's. That shit won't stick, like Ray Liotta said. Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast T, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, Sean Oliver, and Lloyd Benson. Producer Steve Kaufman, graphics by Dominic D'Angelo, title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson, theme song by Dale Oliver, technical research by Tristan Nash, copyright 2024, Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, you want to get some steak?
Absolutely. Drive safe.
Customer service never answers a thing. Let us free to breathe in air we're supposed to breathe. The customer service never